Hey, it's Will Wofford with Berkshire Hathaway, York, Simpson, Underwood, Realty in Raleigh. And today I'd like to take you on a tour of Hayes Barton. Hayes Barton's a really neat neighborhood. It's located off Glenwood Avenue. It's also one of Raleigh's most prestigious neighborhoods. So come on, let's take a ride and let's go see Hayes Barton. As we start our tour off on Hayes Barton, I want to let you know Hayes Barton is the largest of the 5 Points neighborhoods at around 206 acres. And I think what makes Hayes Barton so special is the initial thought that was used to craft the original landscape design that still shapes the neighborhood today. The roads were carved out of the terrain, while the challenging areas were left as parks and natural buffer areas. The setbacks are generous, and there are a variety of lot sizes and shapes. As I mentioned, Hayes Barton is one of Raleigh's most prestigious neighborhoods and was developed in the 20s. As we come to the bottom of Harvey Street, we're going to cross Glenwood Avenue, and Hayes Barton continues on the other side of Glenwood. The other side is often referred to as 5 Points East, and the homes you'll find on this side are generally going to be smaller in size, and the lots are also going to be smaller with fewer natural areas as buffer zones. Harvey and Cowper Streets run on both sides of Hayes Barton, and I just wanted to point that out. And the other major streets on 5 Points East side are Scales, Bickett, and Acre. These streets are prominent throughout the neighborhood. Okay, there were 3 closed transactions on this side in the last 12 months, with prices ranging between $650,000 and $825,000, with a median price of $667,000 and a median size of 2,350 square feet. Days on market is pretty short here. Out of the last 3 transactions, 4 days was the longest amount of time it took to sell. So there's really a lot of demand on this side, and I suppose it's probably because the homes are a little smaller and a little cheaper over here. Okay, as we cross back over to the other side of Hayes Barton now, generally I believe most people think of this side as really being Hayes Barton. And on Williamson Street, you'll find some of the very biggest lots and some of the biggest houses. As I mentioned earlier, there are lots with a variety of shapes and sizes based on the topography of the location, and some have streams that kind of cut through them. So on Williamson, there is some very challenging topography, and the lots in general are much larger to accommodate. There have been 10 closed transactions on this side of Hayes Barton in the last 12 months, with prices ranging between $667,000 for just under 2,000 square feet to as high as $1.7 million for 4,000 square feet. So the median price on this side in the last 12 months was just over $1 million, and that was for a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house. There are 524 properties in Hayes Barton, including the east side, with a combined 85% owner occupancy. And as I mentioned, there have been 3 sales on the east side and 10 sales on this side in the last 12 months. So that equates to a 2.5% turnover. So it's a bit challenging to find property here. So as we move up Iredell Street, I just want to point out, this is one of the longer streets in Hayes Barton. It runs parallel to Harvey and Cowper, but doesn't cut through to the east side, but it does, however, run from Williamson all the way to St. Mary's Street. You'll find a variety of different lot sizes on this street with homes of all sizes, but most are really beautiful, and the street is definitely one of my favorites. Both sides of St. Mary's Street are included in Hayes Barton, and this continues until you cross Fairview. Once you cross Fairview, you're in Bloomsbury. So as far as lot sizes go, the east side lots range from 0.08 of an acre to around 1/3 of an acre. And I'm going to say generally you're looking at about 0.2 of an acre on the east side. And on this side of Hayes Barton, 0.35 of an acre, I think would be safe to say. That would be the norm. And there are not really that many lots over half an acre. The largest lots in Hayes Barton are about 1.5 acres, and there are not very many of those. But you're really in small company once you get over half an acre. So if you're interested in property on this side, it's probably going to be around 1/3 of an acre. Okay, this is an example of what makes Hayes Barton so special. Just look at what you see to the right now. This is a natural buffer area that's been left untouched with a deep ravine that's really kind of unusable. The developers didn't try to use it, and they left it as a natural buffer. And you're going to see more areas like this as we move through the neighborhood. We're coming up on Holt Street, and as we take a left on Holt Street, everything to the left is a ravine, which has been left as a buffer. And that's just awesome because it feels like you're in the mountains or someplace other than Raleigh when you're on this road. And it just kind of takes you away, but that's what's so special about Hayes Barton. And there are a lot of these natural areas. Okay, as we're turning back on Vance Street, looking to the right, you can see another beautiful natural area. And I'm telling you, typically you just don't see this when we're right in the middle of the city. And they could have developed that area, but they didn't. They saved it. And it's now part of the neighborhood. Okay, we're going to continue up Vance. And I think Vance is a really great street, by the way. And we'll get back on Fairview and head back to the other side of Hayes Barton, where I'll show you a few more streets like Burton and Scales. But just take a look at this street on the way out. I mean, it's pretty special. So as we head down Reed, we'll pick up Fairview. Okay, as we pick up Fairview, I want to point out on Fairview to the right, this is all part of Hayes Barton. But everything on the left, those homes are part of Bloomsbury. So all these neighborhoods kind of meet up. But this is a really nice area in Five Points with a lot of shops and restaurants. So it's a trendy area that you can walk to, where you'll find really a lot of people hang out here because you've got a great coffee shop, Third Place, a pizza restaurant, Lily's, as well as a high-end fine dining restaurants like Bloomsbury and Hayes Barton. So it's a really nice area and you're central to downtown. So the location is just a great location. So as we cross Glenwood and get back to the east side, we're going to pick up Burton Street and we'll finish out the tour. You'll notice on this side, obviously, you've got much more congestion on the street with parking. The lots are smaller and the houses are smaller, But still, this side has an almost cult-like following. There are people that are just clamoring to get into this side, and maybe it's because the price is a little bit cheaper and the location is terrific, but I just want to point that out. Obviously, those are the big differences. The size of the lots and the homes, as well as the size and number of natural buffer areas that you have in the neighborhood between the east side and the west side of Hayes Barton. Hey, it's Will Wofford with Berkshire Hathaway, York, Simpson, Underwood Realty again. And I sure hope you enjoyed my tour of Hayes Barton. If you have any questions about this neighborhood or any neighborhoods in Raleigh, please feel free to reach out to me and I'd be glad to help you. If you liked the video, please make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. And thanks so much for watching.